Okay, so this is an introduction video for the general store game. A little bit of a backgrounder on finances and why it's important. So let's talk about this real quick and then you can get right into it. First, how much money do you think it takes to become financially secure? Some people have said maybe 100,000, a million, 5 million. Part of it really depends on how much money you think you need for your lifestyle. But there is a base amount that everybody needs. Remember back to the first unit when we talked about that $51,000 a year being that average Canadian income, and the poverty line being about $21,000 a year. So there is a base amount of money everybody needs per year of life. And if you think about how many years of life you're going to live, that's quite a lot of money. So let's take a look at some people who've really got it made. Everyone knows who this guy is, LeBron James, King James. NBA players are pretty darn wealthy on average. The average salary for an NBA player is $5.15 million a year. If you figure that their average career lasts somewhere around 4.8 years, that's a lot of money. Just take 4.8 and multiply by 5.15 million, or 5150000. I think that's right. But after 5 years of retirement, how many NBA players end up going bankrupt? Think about that for a second. 10%, 20%, 30%? After 5 years of retirement, about 60% of NBA players go bankrupt after earning roughly $20 million. How is that possible? Another example, football players. Now, football players don't make as much. They earn about $1.9 million a year. This is for, of course, NFL players, not CFL players, who earn way less. Their average career length is shorter, about 3.3 years. There are a lot more injuries in football, and they just don't last as long. But still, with about $6 million, you figure they should be able to do it. So, after 5 years, how many NFL players end up bankrupt? 10, 20, 30? You're probably thinking a little bit higher now after those NBA players. 78% of NFL players, after being retired for 5 years, end up bankrupt. How is this possible? How is it that people with $6 million on average, 78% of them end up broke? Another example, 50 Cent. Sold 35 million albums, and in 2014 was net worth at about $155 million. Money in the bank. But a year later, his net worth was zero. He basically owed more in debts than he had value in his assets. So he had money, but he owed so much money that his net worth was actually zero. Johnny Depp. This guy starred in 86 movies, and between 2000 and 2016, largely thanks to things like Pirates of the Caribbean, he earned $650 million. However, in 2017, his net worth was almost zero. A lot of it has to do with the legal battle that he has with his managers, and they blame each other for losing money. Obviously, he's still acting and he's still making money, but where did all this money go? How did he lose it all? How about Oprah? In 2011, her net worth was $3 billion. That's $3,000 million. Huge, huge, huge amount of money. And in 2018, her net worth was $2.8 billion. So her net worth has gone down a little bit, and our net worth can fluctuate over time. But we're still looking at a huge amount of money in Oprah's pocket. So how is this possible? Financial management. So what does this financial security look like? Let's take a look at this video by Aubrey Plaza.
Whoa. Is this thing on?
So money.
You're making money now.
Yeah, it feels weird. I don't know. It doesn't feel like anything really. I think people don't have weird relationships with money because it's just not real. You can't touch it. It's just this kind of, how can you have a real understanding and relationship with something that you can't even look at? Where is it? I don't see it anywhere. It's just, I don't honestly care that much about money. Like I care about it in a way of, I need to be responsible and I need to, you know, I don't want to be in that position again. Like when I was living in, Astoria, going paycheck to paycheck. That's not a good feeling. It sucks, But I'm not worried about it all going away. Sometimes I fantasize about it all going away, and then getting back to my roots. My mom got pregnant with me when she was 20, and yeah, no, my dad grew up in a really, really bad neighborhood in Philadelphia, and my mom grew up in, really poor in Delaware, and they had me. I was a big surprise. When I was born, we lived in a like one bedroom apartment, and I was in a crib, and they were actually on the floor. They slept on a mattress on the floor. But they both are kind of insane. They worked like my mom worked her way up. She's a lawyer now. She put herself through night school. My dad is a wealth management, personal, whatever, He used to be a stockbroker. He like worked his way up, like Wolf of Wall Street style. He's amazing. He's like this crazy, Puerto Rican hanging out with all these like old rich white guys in Delaware, telling them what to do with their money, and he's really good at it. I don't really know that much about it. The irony is that he actually didn't teach me anything about money, and that's what he does.
Well, there was a time when you didn't make money.
That's true. I remember that.
What was that like?
That was like eating scoops of peanut butter for lunch. I was living in Queens and getting fired from all my waitressing jobs.
What kind of waitressing jobs did you get fired from?
You name it. I was a cocktail waitress in a bowling alley, a wine and tapas bar. I was a barista. I had a philosophy back in those days that I would have no loyalty to any restaurant establishment that I was working for because I wanted to be an actor. So if I had an audition and then my manager said, "No, you can't go to your audition," then I would just quit. Those days are over, okay? I've moved on.
So what was your first big break in acting?
Well, I had a really crazy first big break. Judd Apatow kind of picked me out of nowhere, and based on a tape that I had sent into him for a movie called Funny People. Then I went out to LA for 1 week, and in 1 week I got that, Parks and Recreation, and a movie called Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and all in like 4 days. I was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time. It doesn't happen like that for everyone. The difference is, now I buy fancy, almond butter and with flavors. But I still eat it out of the jar. I just want to be in good things, I want to work with great filmmakers, smart people. I want to be in things that last, things that people still talk about, movies that don't go away, things that stick in your brain. You want some?
Nah, thank you. Okay. So, when you make money, where does the money go?
I don't like to just make it rain, as they say. That just seems silly to me. I'll just give other people my hard-earned cash like that. Unless they do a really good dance. But maybe I shouldn't say that on... Is it going to be on TV?
What do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, so we're not going to do this in a class, so I just want for you to think. How do you feel about money? Where do you land on this continuum? Does money make you nervous, or do you like working with money? Think about that for a sec. Where do you land on this continuum? You can talk with your neighbor about it as well if you want to pause here and just say, hey, how do you feel about this? Does money make you nervous? Are you comfortable with it? Okay, next question. How prepared do you feel you are to manage money? Do you feel you're really well prepared to manage your money, or do you really have no clue how to manage your money? Both of these are fine. I mean, part of what you're in here for is to learn how to manage money, so it's totally fine if you have no clue. And how much money will you make? Do you feel it's really important for you to make as much money as possible? Or is money not really that important to you? You just want to have a job you like. I remember doing things that you like really, really well will probably earn you money anyway. But think about these questions and then talk to the people next to you. Now, people think that they need to learn how to predict the stock market in order to be wealthy, how to sell products to people who don't really need them, how to learn how to get rich quick or copy what rich people are doing or just find the highest paying job. But in reality, what people need to do is learn how to think critically and how to persevere and solve problems when they arise, how to save money and be in control of your spending, how to understand the ethical implications of financial decisions, or how to collaborate with other people to reach your goals. Really, what people need to do is to learn to think about their money, not how to get more of it. So consider this example. We've got 50 Cent, we've got Oprah. Both of them have had good times and bad times, but it really does come down to choice. People don't always get to choose what happens to them, okay? But they do get to choose what they do when things happen to them. So financial skills have everything to do with choice. Understanding what the stuff means, we've got that covered, and from there on, it's really choosing what you're going to do with your money. So a simple financial equation looks something like this. Financial skills plus good decision making equals financial security. If you've got the skills to understand what money is and how it works, that's awesome. If you don't, you can learn how. Remember, skills are things that you can get good at. Decision making, that's a combination of learning what good decisions are and being disciplined. If you take care of those two things, you're going to have financial security, which means that nearly everybody, if they do those two things, can be financially secure. Obviously, there's a base amount of money you need to make. But even people that don't make millions of dollars can still be financially secure. Just look at all those athletes, right? Had poor decision making and lacked financial skills, and millions of dollars couldn't give them financial security. So if you take care of your skills and you learn how to make good decisions, you're going to be okay. Everybody, even you, can do this. So what are we going to do? We're going to play this general store game, and you're going to learn some financial skills by running your own store. It's not your money, but it is your store, so you want it to do as well as you can. The overview is something like this. It's realistic decisions based on real-world scenarios, and you get 10 days with one challenge each, representing 1 year in your store's life. You're going to try things like debt management practices, saving, how to use a credit card, lines of credit, taking risks, and working about interest. Interest is really, really key. So make sure you do those questions and understand the interest portion of the scavenger hunt. Gameplay will work like this. We're going to be playing individually, but you're going to be discussing your decisions in a group before you make your final choices. Everyone gets the same challenge, but the decisions you make can impact what happens to you. And sometimes more options become available to you if you make different financial choices. Obviously, if you've got huge debt to pay, you got to worry about that and you can't do other things. You're going to earn points for making decisions that lead to financial savings, involve proper debt management, and reduce your financial risk. Your points will be totaled and evaluated at the year 10 mark. So you'll be able to see what your score is along the way, but then by year 10, everyone's going to have their score in. And as I said in the other video, people are going to earn some prizes for the best performing groups. So please work hard, encourage each other, push each other, and help each other become great. What is important is that you learn by doing this game. At the end of the day, I don't care ultimately what your score is. It doesn't impact your grade, but that you learn about financial skills and good decision making. If you can do that, you're acing this unit, okay? That's it. Make sure you get logged into 4Division Games and get yourself started. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.